Now, I feel like this is something I'm going to have to preface a lot on this channel, and that is I really do enjoy Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth. I really, really do. But they do pale in comparison to the OG, because the OG really is the OG in this circumstance, and there are just certain story elements that are obviously retold and redid, and the new ones that just don't hit the same as they did in the OG, which is what I'm going to be talking about in this video, which is basically the thing that disappointed me probably the most in Final Fantasy VII Remake was the Shinra Tower. And it was the simple fact of when everybody went to sleep and you wake up and everybody been killed, all the workers, all the soldiers, all the people that were still working there, you know, President Shinra himself, all dead. That shit was bloody in the OG. Red blood. Not like this modern day green blood type of stuff. No, it was really red. Like, it really fit the horror of what was taking place. Because in no other Final Fantasy game up to this point could you even put the blood in the game like this. You probably could have back on the original, you know, Super Nintendo or regular Nintendo, but it would not have looked the same. Regular Nintendo, no way. Super Nintendo, possible. Wouldn't have hit like it did on PlayStation. It just wouldn't have. Because the graphics were at least good enough to sell you on like, oh my, like this looks like some people were drugged down the hallway. Looks like people were tortured. This, whatever happened to these folks, I'm glad I didn't experience this. You know what I'm saying? That's what it looked like in the OG game. And I'm pretty sure it hit like a horror movie because the music changed, the tone shifted, and that's when the dark elements of the game really got to show its best and true colors. Like that's the best part about this game to me, was in Midgar at this point in time. Obviously, before you get out of Midgar, and this is the peak of that saga, this is the point in time where you're like, oh wow, this game is not what I thought it was at the beginning. From the falling all the way down to the flower bed and meeting Aerith and all these sunshine and rainbows and good times and, you know, and magic spells and shit. Now people are dying, and they're dying in horrific ways. But in the remake, it just didn't hit the same because it really just looked like Ivan Ooze had walked down the hallways of Shinra Tower. That bothered me. It looked like Ivan Ooze had bled out everywhere. It was purple, and purple doesn't hit the same as red. Just aesthetically, we all know that. It's just different. It wasn't as violent. The music was still there, and it was still kind of eerie. And the way the voice acting was and the way they were selling the moments, that made it better. Now, it was just the fact that the visual aspect didn't hit the way it was supposed to. The acting performances, the way they actually built the atmosphere, all that sold perfectly, I felt like, in the remake. It was just the way it looked. Why was the blood on fire? Why was it bubbling? You know what I'm saying? Like in the original, it was just on the floor, smeared all over the place. Like it was like, oh yeah, dude's brains were probably here. In the new one, like I said, it looked like somebody shit all the way down the hallway. And it was all the little ooze guys from Power Rangers. And it's not... It was supposed to really be scary, and it wasn't. And that's the part that hurts me the most, because that's the part I think people enjoy about the OG game, is the fact that it was really dark. In all the other Final Fantasies, even when the most, you know, crazy elements of the game or the crazy moments and the biggest climaxes of the game hit, it's not scary. They're just intense. You know, they're just action-packed and exciting. But in the OG game, these moments were horrifying. I mean, these people had all sorts of experiments, and also they were turned into lab rats. I mean, they were just put into Mako chambers and just turned into monsters. I mean, it was just crazy what they were doing to some of the soldiers. They were experimented on. Basically, if your genes weren't good enough, it was almost like the old slave trade or people coming over on ships. Basically, if your blood just wasn't good enough, you just died on the cruise, because, I mean, you weren't going to make it all the way across them waters unless you somehow had the genetics to make it, because you weren't going to get treated right. That's what it felt like with those soldiers. The soldier people were just treated like lab rats. I mean, they were not living good lives once they signed up to being a soldier. Hell, you thought it was bad to sign up for the army in some of our countries or whatever military you're going to join? Not like soldier. It's a little bit different. But the Shinra Tower, that's the part of the game that I was really looking forward to most. If, you know, they were going to basically limit the first game all the way down to just the Midgar saga, or section of the game, I just expected more horror, and I expected more intensity. I just expected it to be a darker moment. I still like the way it played out. I love the boss battles. I mean, they were pretty difficult. I mean, the game in its challenge aspect it's kind of hard to really refute that. I mean, you definitely get your challenges in this game. You got to come up with some strategies to beat some of these bosses, which is pretty cool, because in the original games, you could just pretty much attack your way to win. And, you know, that kind of killed some of the fun in it, but the materia system did make it pretty great. But I'm not here to talk about some of that. I just wanted to talk about the Sheeran Tower a little bit and just explain how I was disappointed, because I wanted more blood. I wanted the horror to hit home. I wanted them to like pick it up with their hands and touch it and be like, "Ooh, Sephiroth was here." You know what I mean? But they didn't. Sephiroth just basically popped up later as almost a ghost. So like, if they were gonna, I guess I can go ahead and dive into that too. The whole fake out kill a Barrett kind of pissed me off too. Cause I'm like, man, this wasn't there. And I mean, I know that doesn't have to be the same in the way they did it. They still didn't kill him, thank God. Cause I mean, man, if they killed Barrett at that point in time, I was done with that game. I was gonna be done. There was gonna be no buying Rebirth at all. I mean, no, that wasn't gonna happen. But luckily they didn't kill him, but I just didn't understand what was going on. And plus why couldn't they make this game like MA? Why couldn't they make it mature, where it could be blood, where it could be like, oh wow, this man really looks like he was dying here? It didn't sell enough. It didn't sell enough, and that's just so frustrating to me, because I just freaking love this game so much, and I really wanted that part to live up.